Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace and today is Tuesday, September 23rd. This is a podcast about knitting and crafting and baking and books and cats, but most importantly knitting because that is what I love to do the most. If you would like to follow me on any of my social medias, there's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Ravelry. I am most active on Instagram for sure, so if you'd like to go follow me over there, that would be wonderful. In addition to that, if you are interested in any of the things that I will be talking about today, I will link everything in the show notes. So if you are on YouTube, a link to my blog will be down below, or if you are on my blog already, everything will be down below. Just like normal, nothing new, nothing new. I do apologize for the changing light that might happen throughout this episode. I have tried to adjust the light as much as I can with the blinds in this room, but it is partly cloudy today, and so sometimes it's really overcast, sometimes it's not, and so therefore the light changes. And I can't adjust that with the blinds, unfortunately, but that's okay. So just so you know, so you are aware what is going on. Yeah. So this week I feel like I haven't gotten a lot of knitting done, but I know that I have, so we're gonna go forward with that. I have a finished object to share with you, which is really exciting. I'm also going to share with you my finished sweater because I did not do that last week and several people asked me about that, so thank you for reminding me to do that. If you were one of those people, I do appreciate it, and I am very sorry for not showing you before. I did take pictures of it. They're not on my Instagram, but they are on my Ravelry, so I do need to post them on my Instagram. That is that. I have lots of knitting to share with you, so that is exciting. And yes, so let's just get right into it. If you would like to grab something tasty to drink today, I have tea, which is wonderful. I've been really enjoying tea more now that it's gotten a little bit cooler, which is truly delightful because there's nothing quite like drinking hot tea when it's not 100 degrees outside. So yeah, if you would like to grab something tasty to drink, whether it be hot or cold, or something to snack upon, or something to craft upon, or all of the above, and you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. So first off, let me show you this sweater that I finished. That was a test knit for Claire Wells or Flossy Knits on Instagram and Ravelry. This was her cabled sweater that I did that is called Corbel, I'm assuming. This is the finished object in all of its glory. It is beautiful. I knit this out of Knit Picks Will of the Andes Sport in the current colorway. And I really love it. The sleeves are slightly more puffy than I was expecting, which is not a bad thing at all. It just means that there's more snuggly, puffy sleeves to snuggle up in. I really like how it looks. I think last week I said that we were going to try to take pictures in the evening and the lighting was not cooperating and I needed to get pictures, so I ended up taking pictures of it hanging up on the wall. So I don't actually have... Oh no, I have a couple of them that I'm wearing it in that did work out. They're much darker, so they look a little bit more moody, but they are pictures of me in it, so that's pretty cool. The pictures on the wall did turn out significantly better because of the time of day that I took the pictures and just the general lighting in general. But oh, such is life, the woes of trying to photograph knitting in a timely manner. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, and that's okay because that's life. But so here's the finished object. It's a all over cabled sweater pullover thing. It's very easy. It was quite an enjoyable knit. I highly recommend it if you are looking for maybe a step up from your beginning sweater pattern. If you are looking for that, I think this would be a good pattern for you. The pattern was very well written. Working with Claire was very wonderful. Would highly recommend. And yes, so this is the sweater that is now done and can be folded up and worn in the future, which I'm very excited about. In addition to that, I do have a finished object from last week because I literally finished it that evening after I recorded, and so I did not I was not able to share that with you, and I felt kind of like it was a little out of date because I had finished it so quickly, and I finished it before you even saw that I wasn't finished with it. So now I get to show you that I'm finished with it, and it's all wonderful and glorious. So this is my Authenticity Shawl by Sylvia McFadden. And oh my goodness, you guys, I love it so much. It is truly beautiful and so squishy and woolly and amazing. I love it. It is an all-over lace shawl with your traditional lace row or rest rows. So you purl back, you do the lace knitting on knit row on the right side, and then you purl back on the wrong side, which is quite enjoyable. So if you are wanting to take breaks, that's why they're called rest rows. It's huge. It could be bigger, but it's not. I feel like there would be just too much. It's a good look. So yes, last week I was unsure about how many or how big I would make the border. As you can see, and now I'm going to do a very bad job of showing you what this looks like because it's just very hard to show you. So the border could be bigger. I could have added to it, but I didn't because I wanted to get it done. And also I was very happy with the size of it. So I actually, where did I put the end of it? Oh, here it is. I was like, where is it? Where did I put it? This is how much I have left of my third ball. So I feel like I did a pretty good job. I could have used more of this, but last week I mentioned that I wanted to maybe potentially use this in worsted weight colorwork sweaters where I just needed a little bit of something, because I think that'd be pretty fun. I feel like that's a really good way to use up your stash. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. For example, I have literally just pulled these 3 colors from my worsted weight shelf here. Look at these 3 colors. I feel like this would be a very nice color combination for some kind of worsted weight colorwork. Perhaps throwback cardigan by Andrea Mowry that everybody is knitting right now. Like that color combination. So yeah, it's nice having these options. I feel like after last week and my discussion of being more creative with your stash, I have thought a lot about that. I've talked to a lot of people about that as well. They have told me their opinions and their thoughts on that, which has been very enlightening and also very fascinating as well. And so yeah, I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's less of a pressure to constantly be looking at new yarn. Not that there ever was a pressure for that, but I don't know. I feel less stressed out about that when it comes to picking out yarn for a project. And granted, that means that I might not be words. Let's start over. I apologize. I was distracted by putting on the shawl again. Granted, I don't have the yarn for everything that I want to make, and that's okay because I have yarn for so many other things that I want to make, and if I don't happen to have particular yarn for that particular pattern that I'm looking at in that moment, that's okay, because there's so many other things that I either need to finish or I have stash yarn for, or patterns that I already have the yarn for that I had planned for that I haven't cast on yet. So I feel like it's just, I am not, like, I don't really know what I'm trying to say here. I do apologize. Let's have a drink of tea. Maybe that'll clear our mind. I don't know. I just feel like there's not a great need or whatever to constantly be looking at the patterns, new patterns and stuff, and needing or wanting new yarn. And I feel really good about that. That's not to say that I want to make all these things that I don't have yarn for, because I really do. And in fact, I actually literally had a dream. I dreamt all night about the floozy cardigan that also really want to make but do not have the yarn for. Well, I mean, I do have some yarn. I could use my fingering weight, which is up here that you cannot see, my fingering weight stash to come up with the contrasting colors and just buy yarn for the... Oh, you know what? Maybe no. I might have yarn for that. We're gonna have to look into that later. So I had a dream about it. I dreamt about it all night. And I'm assuming I dreamt about it all night because I really, like, I woke up and I was like, I dreamt about the Flusy cardigan. That's very odd. It's a sign that it needs to be knit at some point. Maybe not now necessarily, but hopefully in the future because it is super cute. And I'm just very fascinated by the techniques that it uses because it's not actually stranded colorwork, it's slipped stitches. And I think that's very cool. And I want to try that at some point. So hopefully in the near future. And the sun has come out from behind the clouds and it's just very bright in here again, so oh well. But getting back to the main point, I finished a shawl. I finished an object that had been on the needles for a very long time. I got this yarn, I did not speak about the yarn, I do apologize. I got this yarn from the Houston Fiber Fest back in June or whenever that was. Yeah, I think that was June. And it is from the Bluebell Hills Alpaca Ranch. I think that's correct. If not, I do apologize. And they are located in Navasota, so that's pretty cool. I really love this. I really liked blocking it. It smells so good and so sheepy. Except not sheepy because it's alpaca, but you know what I mean. It smells very woolly. I have worn it quite a lot. I've actually worn it a lot just around the shoulders in your traditional like shawl way. I actually, the very first day that I wore it as a skirt, as you do, because why not? I felt very Stephen West that day at the store, which I forgot to mention. Man, I've been doing this for a while now, and how could I forget that? I work at a yarn store. If you are not familiar with that, or if you're a new viewer, or whatever, I do work at a yarn store in Montgomery, Texas. It is called the Modern Skein, and it is wonderful. I really like working there, and yeah, it's pretty wonderful. We also have an online store, so if you are not able to come and visit the store in person, you can you can see what we have in stock and you can order from us. So that's pretty cool if you are interested in that. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up and things we're getting in the store, so would highly recommend checking that out. But anyway, so I think it was last Wednesday, I believe, I was wearing this as a skirt because I just wanted to. And why not? I felt very Stephen Westy. It seemed like something that he would do. I had jeans on and like a stripy shirt, and I just decided to tie it around my waist. And it was very cute. It was a wonderful fashion accessory. Which was nice because it was definitely warmer that day, and so I didn't really necessarily want something around my shoulders or around my neck, and so it just worked well to put around my waist, and it was a skirt. So I have never done that before. I mean, I've tried it on before like that, but I've never actually done that in public and actually committed to the fact that I was going to wear a shawl around my waist as an accessory. So it went very well. I will definitely be doing it again in the future, so if you are hesitant to do that, if you have never tried wearing any of your shawls as skirts before over pants or another skirt or a dress, of course, I would highly suggest or recommend trying it because it's actually very cool. You do have to continue to like pull it up and readjust it every now and again, but it's very worth it because people are like, are you wearing a shawl as a skirt? Like, what? I don't understand what's going on. And so that's really fun, and yeah. So I just had a lot of fun wearing this as a skirt. I also enjoy wearing this as a shawl. I also really just enjoy wearing it in general and just wrapping up in it because it's just so deliciously squishy. I'm very happy with this. I'm very, very happy with this. And it's just another one of those shawls that it has a lot of memories in it, lots of ups and downs, and so I don't know. It's very special, and stuff like that I feel like are more special than other things. And that's not to say that every project has to have the same amount of memories or experiences or whatever, because I don't think that for me happens necessarily, because some projects have more memories than others depending on where I got the yarn or what was going on when I was knitting them or whatever. And so I feel like I tend to hold those kinds of patterns or finished objects a little bit like closer to my heart. I feel like they're a little bit more special to me. Not that all of my knits are special to me, don't get me wrong, but some of them are extra special, and this is one of them. And so I really like the shawl. It means a lot to me for multiple reasons, and yes, I would highly recommend knitting Sylvia McFadden's or soft sweaters knitting patterns. She's got maybe a couple sweaters or one sweater and then a lot of shawls. They're all incredible. I would highly recommend them. Please go check them out. Please go support her. She is wonderful. She also has an amazing Instagram, and I just really adore her pattern writing techniques and just the way she writes her patterns, and also just her style. So I would highly, highly recommend them. Go and check them out, please. I'm realizing as we speak, or as I speak, you are listening to me. Unless you talk back to me, in which case that's totally fine. I actually have quite a bit of knitting, and it's all down in this bag, and I really don't know where to put stuff. So we're just going to start with the top thing and just throw things on the floor, because that's what you do when you podcast. Fun fact, your lap can only hold so much, you know. So I'm working on another test knit. This is for Lindsay of Bundle Handmade Patterns. She's Bundle Handmade on Instagram. It is a beautiful ribbed cardigan, and I have added stripes on the bottom. Everybody, I love stripes. It's, like I said, it's a ribbed cardigan. It's bottom up. I have made quite a bit of progress, I think, since I last showed you guys. So I haven't made as much as much. I've just lost my ball of yarn. Like I said, patterns. Laps are not usually big enough when you podcast. What was I saying? I distract myself. I have not gotten as much progress as I would like, but I have made considerable progress. Goodness gracious, what is wrong with me today? So I am very happy about that. It is wonderfully squishy. I'm knitting it out of Cascade Eco Wool, clearly in 2 different colors. I probably will not be striping the rest of the cardigan. I will probably be adding some baby stripes around the sleeves, around the cuffs, probably. But yeah, so I'm really loving this. I'm really loving our little group that we have going with the other testers of this pattern. I think we are a wonderful bunch. We do talk quite a bit, which is wonderful. I do love a good chat while we do our test knit. So that's pretty fun. I'm really enjoying it. It's going really quickly. It's a good reading and knitting project, but I've been very busy. So that is why I have not gotten as much done as I would like. But I do know that we are going to be reading this evening, and hopefully I plan to get a lot done on this week and tonight in general. So, yay. Just throw that on the floor, knock everything over. So, the second thing that I've been working on is actually a finished object. You know, it's pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with this. I would knit this up in a day, so can't go wrong with that. It is a barley hat by Tin Can Knits. This is a store sample. So it's just a regular beanie with like this garter section on the sides and then stockinette on the other side for most of it. So it's like a quarter. If a beanie was divided up into quarters, this would be 1/4. Or maybe 2/4 probably. No, I think it'd be a quarter. Looking at the anatomy of a hat. Anyway, it's a free pattern. It knits up very quickly. It's super wonderful to knit. I'm definitely going to be making, this is not my first barley hat, nor will this be my last barley hat. This is knit out of Northbound Knitting. I don't have the ball band, and this is just very upsetting, but we do carry this in the store. And so we have this color, which is obviously the one that I knitted up in. And then we have 2 other gray versions of that. Just like solid total grays. So I'm very happy with how this turned out. We're going to put it on and we're going to mess up my hair, but you guys love me anyway, so we'll ignore the fact that this is going to give me hat hair. It is a standard hat. Can't go wrong. But it is a simple hat, but I'm going to spice it up, everybody. You may wonder, you might be thinking this, you might have already thought this. We're going to add pom-poms to it. Or a pom-pom. Ooh, I could add multiple pom-poms. Maybe just one. But I'm thinking of a multicolored pom-pom, everybody. We're going to pull from my stash back here. So I'm thinking maybe, ooh, this is not showing up the way it is in person. That is very unfortunate. You will have to take my word for it that this is a very fun combination. And I think it would really spice up this hat. And I've actually never done a multicolored pom-pom, and I think it would be very fun to try. This is extremely blown out. This one up here is Madeline Tosh DK and the Edison Bulb colorway. This down here is Malabrigo Silky Merino in some colorway that I don't remember. And this is Manos del Uruguay Maxima in a color that I don't remember. But it is so bright, neon pink. It is blowing out on camera. And it is not showing up accurately, so I do apologize. But I think something like this or some other combination that I might come up with would be very fun to have as a pom-pom. This is the thumbnail, if I ever saw a thumbnail. Yay. So that's very exciting, and like I said, this will be a shop sample, so if you are interested in buying the Northbound Knitting yarn or just looking at a barley hat and seeing what it looks like and trying it on or whatever, or seeing how a multicolored pom-pom works. That is awesome. I am also really excited because I think you could probably get 2 barley hats out of a skein of this Northbound Knitting yarn, which is really wonderful because it's just a really good deal. So, you know, my hair is all messed up, but like I said, you guys love me anyway, so, would highly recommend knitting a barley hat for Christmas presents if you are in the market for that. It knits up, so I literally knit this in a day. I literally knit this in a day. So it goes so quickly. It's so easy. It's not boring. It's very mindless at the same time, but like I said, it's not boring. I would highly recommend it, and it's a free pattern. How can you go wrong? Everybody, if you've not knit a barley hat, why have you not knit a barley hat yet? Go knit a barley hat. So, yes, this is going to be a shop sample. I'm going to use the rest of the yarn to make one of these hats for Sam because he saw it and was in love with it. And I was like, well, this one's for the shop, but there's extra yarn, so I will make you one. So, it's very nice that you can get 2 hats out of one skein. I think that's pretty amazing. And look at those decreases, like... Isn't that wonderful? It's just so satisfying. Hat decreases are just so satisfying looking. So wonderful. I haven't blocked it yet. Not sure if I'm really going to block it. I think I probably will, just so everything kind of evens out. But size-wise, it's good. So this is the adult small, if you were wondering. So I have a small head So it works out fine to make the adult small. So that's pretty cool that I got that finished. Another finished object. Store sample. Awesome. This one, I do have the ball band for. I did remember to grab it. Okay. So this is another store sample that's going to be in the modern skein. So when I'm done with it, if you'd like to see it in person, you can go and check it out. But this is much farther away from being done. It's not quite like a hat because it's a shawl. It's knitting up quickly, or it did knit up. Excuse me. It did knit up quickly when I was working on it. I have not worked on it much since Friday. I've been busy. So this is what I have so far. This is going to be the Multnomah shawl, which is another free pattern on Ravelry. Would highly recommend it. It seems to be like the perfect shawl for one skein of yarn. And so I'm going to fold this over just so it's not distracting. It's a free pattern, so, and I printed off the black and white version because gotta save on ink, as you do. But that's what it is basically. You see that, everybody? It's Feather and Fan. You guys, if you are a long-time viewer, you would probably be aware that I am not the biggest fan of knitting Feather and Fan. No pun intended. But the things one does for love of a yarn store. I really am just hoping it goes well and doesn't give me a headache, but it might. I'm sure it'll be fine. I just need to be super, super, super duper careful and everything will be okay. That's what I'm telling myself. So yes, it's literally just like a simple garter stitch shawl with a Feather and Fan on the bottom down here as pictured. It is very easy for those of us who have no problems with Feather and Fan. I am not one of those people. If you are new to the podcast, I do struggle quite a bit with Feather and Fan, and I do realize that it is one of the simplest stitch patterns that one can do. But I just don't pay attention, apparently. So this is what I have so far. It's quite a lot, you can see. My yarn is this, which we do carry. It is Twisted Owl Fiber Studio. The Super Sock 4-ply in the Midnight at the Oasis colorway, which that was a lot of information, so I'm going to show you the ball band. Ta-da! So yes, we do have a fair amount of this in the store, so if you want to come and take a peek and get a skein of this or any other fingering, but specifically this because that's what it's being knit up in, you too can make your own Multnomah and not struggle through the Feather and Fan like I probably will. But, I mean, I can't blame anybody for that because I literally picked out this pattern for this yarn. I put this upon myself. I can't say that anybody made me do this. I volunteered. I suggested the pattern. So, I am not blaming anybody, nor am I complaining. I'm just letting you know that I might be complaining in the future of putting this upon myself. I am knitting this on, I don't normally show people needles because I feel like needle gauge is very unique to a person. If you guys are interested in me like sharing my needle sizes of things that I am knitting, let me know. But I feel like gauge and needle sizes are very like unique to a person, so that's why I don't share them, because yours might be completely different than mine. But anyway, because these are different because I don't knit with these very often. These are my square needles, my Knitter's Pride cubies or cubics or whatever. I don't want my face to be in focus. So that's cool. I'm enjoying knitting with these. Last time I used these was for my old romance cardigan. No, I've used them since then. But either way, They are my square ones that I did knit my old romance cardigan on. I am going to continue working on this, obviously, because it is a store sample. I do have knitting homework. So that's cool. And yeah, so that's basically what I've been working on this week. I did bring my sorbet cardigan in here to possibly show you, but I haven't knit on any, done any progress on it at all. But I do want to share the fact that my mom she finished it on Sunday night, and then yesterday on Monday she went and found buttons for it, or she went and looked for buttons. I don't know if she actually ended up with buttons, but so that is super wonderful, and I am so excited to see hers. The pictures that I've seen are absolutely wonderful, and I'm really excited to see it in person and her wearing it. And then also for me to finish mine so I can wear it. So that's very exciting. They are to Europe at the beginning of October for a while, and so that is very exciting. She will hopefully get to wear it there, and that is really, really wonderful. I am sad that I can't go, but also very excited for them. I know there will be a lot of yarn purchases that my mom is going to do for the both of us, and I'm very excited about that. So thank you, Mama, for doing that. That is very exciting, and I'm sorry for the table wobbling, but I'm getting my tea. So yes, that was a lot of rambling. But now you know my mom has finished her sorbet cardigan. That is very exciting. I hope to finish mine soon. I hope to finish a lot of things soon, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen because you never know. Oh well. In regards to books, I have not made really any progress with any books. I mean, I've moved forward with books, but again, I'm still like not happy with the books that I'm reading. And that's not to say that they're bad books necessarily. They're just not really bringing me into the story. I'm not very enthralled with what the plot or the characters are, I guess. And maybe that's just me not paying attention, and that totally could be it, because that has happened before and I feel very like underwhelmed. Whereas with certain books, like excuse me, the reviews on Goodreads and stuff are just like praise upon praise, and it's like, well, I didn't get that experience, and it's like, well, you could have paid attention more. So that's probably my own fault, and so I don't blame the books for that. That's on me. I do have some fun books coming up, hopefully to be reading and listening to, and doing knitting and test knitting while I'm reading. So that is exciting. We do have a TV show recommendation. I don't normally do this. But if you are into crime, drama, detective mysteries, if you are into 1960 England, specifically set in Oxford, I would highly recommend the TV show called Endeavour. It is on Amazon Prime. It was also on PBS, or Masterpiece Theater, in the mysteries thing, I'm assuming. It is so good. Everyone, so good. It's very much along the lines of like, let me rephrase that thought. There are several things that are amazing. It's shot beautifully well. The costumes are super fun. It's also funny, which is a plus when it comes to mystery, murder stuff, because that's usually very depressing sometimes. It is pretty historically accurate. I think. I don't know for 100% certain, but it seems pretty historically accurate. And most importantly, in my mind, I literally never know who it is. And it's always someone that you never expect. And it's also, and even if you do slightly expect them, it's for some reason that you had no idea, and it was just like brought together and woven into the story, and if you had been really paying attention, you might be able to catch on, but if you weren't, you'll just be blown out of the water. And it's like, whoa, whoa. Sometimes it's kind of like we need to rewind the explanation because I didn't fully understand it the first time because it was just so complicated, and it's like, oh my goodness. This is the show for me. If you are into that kind of stuff, if you really like Broadchurch, if you like Shetland, if you enjoy shows like that where it's just one big puzzle, this is the show for you. It's called Endeavor. Each episode is its own mystery. As of right now, on Amazon Prime, there's only 4 seasons, or series, or whatever you want to call them. I think there are currently 6, and I think they might have gotten renewed for a 7th, according to my parents, because they were the ones who actually told us about Endeavor. So again, thank you, Mama and Papa. I can't recommend the show enough. It is so good. Each episode is about an hour and a half long, so it is quite a commitment, but number 1, you get good knitting time, and number 2, it's kind of like a movie. It's such good, I feel like even though it's very long, it really enables you to like get immersed into the storyline to really understand what's going on, for the plot and the mystery to develop, for the characters to develop. And I have a text message right now, and this is making me lose my train of thought. Oh well. So yes, I think so series 1 or season 1, the mysteries are pretty separate from each other. There might be like a slight reference to previous ones, but in series or season 2, somehow there's something connected. We have one more left in season 2, and we might watch that tonight, which I'm very excited about. And so I'm hoping that we figure out how everything is connected, because something is slightly connected and I don't know how and I don't know why, but it is, and it's just like, I need to know. That's what mysteries are. And that's what makes them so amazing, I think, in my mind. So I have been really enjoying it. Sam has also been really, really enjoying it. He's usually a very good sport when it comes to watching things like that, because I'm the one who's finding and picking out stuff, but he has actually gotten really into it and has actually gotten pretty good at picking out who did it, though we don't know why. So it's been really fun to watch together and try and figure it out as we go along. I would highly recommend it. It is so good. I can't recommend it enough. So good. If you don't have Amazon Prime, I don't really know where you can watch it besides PBS, and I think that requires an account, but I don't know because we're watching it on Amazon Prime. So I don't know how to help you if you don't have either of those, but I'm sure there's a way that you can figure it out, hopefully. Watch it on a streaming place that has it. It is really, really amazing, and I don't think that you will be disappointed. So definitely go check out Endeavor. In regards to baking, I made the autumn bread last week, which is very good. Nothing new. I knew that's good because I've made it many times before. I'm about to make some oatmeal cookies once I'm done recording here, so that is exciting. Yes, so baking is kind of a little underwhelming this week. I do apologize. Nothing fancy or anything. I do really enjoy oatmeal cookies when it is the fall, because I feel like the oatmeal really lends itself to add things like cinnamon and nutmeg and pumpkin pie spice, whatever that is, that I always add to a lot of things because I like that it tastes like autumn or the fall. Yes, so that's really fun. I really enjoy doing that. It has also been a lot cooler. We had a couple hot days this past week, which was kind of a bummer because we were like, oh, we were used to this nice, relatively cool weather in the mid-80s, low 80s. But we have a cold front coming soon, and that is very exciting. And by cold front, I mean high 70s, low 80s. But the lows are dropping. We have had the autumnal equinox. I can't remember the name of that now, but whatever it was on September 22nd, and I know that that was like the first day of autumn, technically. So that's very exciting. We know that that is starting now. We've had a lot of rain. I love it so much. So that is very exciting. And yes, I'm looking forward to the cooler weather. Yes. And being able to drink hot drinks and not sweat profusely while drinking them because it's just so hot. And also to be able to wear all the knitwear and do both at the same time. It's truly wonderful. It is a miracle. So if you are in a climate right now where it is cold, I am so happy for you. I hope that you are taking advantage of that. And you get to wear all the knitwear and drink all the hot drinks and snuggle up in all the warm blankets because that sounds like heaven. Take advantage, enjoy it while you can because it sounds wonderful. So going back to last week and just my discussion and conversation with you and people who came into the store, which thank you for your comments and discussion. I really appreciated all that. Just all of that and me thinking about how I can apply that to my knitting now, besides things like test knits and shop samples. And also Christmas knitting, that is also very different. I've been trying to figure out, like, what would be the most effective way to get things knit up quickly? And maybe that is just not possible. Maybe that's just not a realistic thing for me. I don't know if it's like finishing all the stuff, making sure I have everything done before I cast on new stuff, or if I like finish one thing and then I cast another new thing on, or if I finish two things and then cast one new thing on, or like what is a good ratio for me? Because I feel like, though this is not a bad thing, I feel like if I cast something off and then cast something on immediately, that kind of cancels out the like cutting down on my whips, because I've finished something and then I started something new. So I don't know. And granted, that's not a bad thing necessarily. Like, that's just me trying to figure out how many whips for me is good and not feel bad about it or whatever. It's just things that I need to think about that I haven't had time to think about, and every time I come in here, because there's always this yarn, and I have yarn for projects on my desk and on the floor, and in other places too that are not in here, it's just like, it's just a reminder that I have things that I want to knit, but I don't know when to knit them because I have a lot of things to knit, and I have old things that need to be knit and finished, and I don't know. I just don't know. So hopefully I will be kind of thinking about that this week. Oh, this is also fun. I am starting a new passion planner soon. If you are a long time follower, you will be aware that I dearly love the passion planner. It has served me so well. I have been using the passion planner, or a passion planner, for 2 years now, which is really kind of incredible. I started off with a blue one, which I think is somewhere in like our storage stuff in the closet that's way back there that you can't see, or it's under my desk somewhere. And so now I'm currently using a rose gold one that's almost full, which is kind of crazy because I got that and started that when we were still living in Dallas, and that just blows my mind. And so I'm getting ready to start a new one, and I'm so excited about that, and it's just really the possibilities of the things that I can do with a brand new planner and things that I can plan in the new planner, because it is a planner. Let's state the obvious. So yeah, I'm just really excited about that. I hope to, in the next couple of days, when I have time to kind of plan out my knitting goals and just that kind of thing in the back of this new passion planner that I'm going to start, because I want to maybe I don't know, maybe plan out better sweaters and knitwear things that I want to knit that might be more useful to me. So maybe kind of creating like my own knitting capsule. Now I don't know how to say it. I say it all the different ways and now we don't know what's right. Kind of like just a more minimalistic wardrobe, I think, of just things that I know that I can use. And I don't know, I don't think that'll work for me. Maybe it'll at least help me get a general idea of the things that I want to knit and the things that I will use. I won't limit myself to knitting only 1 or 2 sweaters because that just doesn't seem wise. I don't think that'll make me very happy, and so I will figure out, like, making sure that I knit more cardigans than pullovers, or vice versa, or if it is a cardigan, if I can figure out how to steek it, and which I have fun plans for, by the way. I haven't mentioned this to you guys yet, but my mom and I have fun plans in the future, which is foreshadowing, but anyway, back to the passion planner. So yeah, I hope to use my new passion planner to really like write down all these new ideas that I have in regards to how I knit and why I knit and the things that I knit in the future, and I want to share that with you guys, and maybe that'll be useful yes. Maybe that'll be useful to you, and so I hope to write down all that stuff and then maybe share this with you on the podcast, and if that is helpful, maybe you guys can use that in your own planning way that if you have a specific way that you plan or whatever, whether it be bullet journal or the happy planner or passion planner or whatever you use. Just ways of planning out your knitting that feel good. I'm a planner, if you couldn't tell. I really love planning things out, and sometimes it really bugs me when things don't get planned out, and so I'm like, or I just need to write down everything so I know what's going on. Some might say that that is a problem. Maybe it is. I don't know. I enjoy planning stuff. I enjoy my passion planner. If you don't know what a passion planner is, if you are new, I love these things so much, and I cannot explain them in a way that gives them justice. So I'm going to link their website where you can read all about them in the show notes, and if you don't know what about them, what they are, what they're about, all that stuff, if you just click on one thing in the show notes, please go check out the passion planner, because it has really changed. They've changed my life. And I think they really have, because they've really changed how I plan things and how I like analyze big projects and stuff, and it's just made me more productive and less overwhelmed. For example, I can actually give you a very good example of this. The passion planner helped me plan and host Christmas last year. We had literally just moved here, and it was Sam and I's first Christmas together technically, and his parents, his family, did not have a house yet because of Harvey. They were still living in an apartment, and so yeah, we hosted my in-laws for Christmas, which was wonderful, but I really don't think I could have gone through it without being super stressed out if it had not been for my passion planner, because I was able to write down everything, I was able to plan it all out, I was able to do their little passion roadmap, which they tell you all about and show you how to use. I was able to like write down recipes, I was able to take care of gift lists, all because of my passion planner. And if I really do think that if I had not had that, I would have been super stressed out, because it's just the way that they show you how to organize things and how to plan things and kind of create like a plan of action. It's really useful. And granted, it's not for everybody. It may not be for you, but if you don't know what it is or if you've never tried it, I really do recommend trying it out. They actually have printables on their website as well, so if you don't want to, I don't know if you have to pay to get the printables. Not all of them are free, I don't think. I think most of the printables are free, so it's worth a checking out. But they will show you how to do their system, if you will. They have a wonderful Instagram as well with very motivational and positive stuff about how to use your planner. It's also on YouTube. It's really great. It's just a really good company. I really like supporting them. I also like how I have become with my planning, and that just makes me really happy. Anyway, I rambled too much about this. I do apologize. So yeah, check out Passion Planner. It's pretty wonderful. I'm really excited to be starting a new one and how my new one can change my knitting life. Hopefully, possibly. We'll see. I have to do the planning first. So that's very exciting, and I'm really excited to share that with you guys, and I hope you will be interested in that. And if not, I apologize, but I think it would be pretty interesting, so I feel like I'm definitely going to try and share that with you guys in the future. So, fun things to come. So, after the Passion Planner rant, that is all that I have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for checking out this podcast. If you are new, thank you so much for trying out. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and spending some time with me. I really do appreciate that you are willing to let me ramble to you about my knitting and passion planners and books and TV shows. It does mean a lot, and I really appreciate it. So that is wonderful. If you'd like to follow me on any of my social medias, there's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram, so go follow me over on there. If you would like to check out any of the things that I've talked about, specifically Passion Planner, go check out the show notes. If you're on YouTube, the link to my blog will be down below in the down bar, or if you're on my blog, everything will be down below already. No need to go anywhere. Everything will be there. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend, and I hope that you continue to have a wonderful week. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are successful. Like I said, I have a lot of crafty plans, both planning and just actually crafting, so we'll see how much I get done. It really does help that I work at a yarn store, because if I was not able to knit at a job or whatever, it really, like, working at a yarn store really ups my knitting amount. I think that is the cause of why I've been getting so much knitting done. So that's really wonderful. Yes. So yes, I am planning on getting a lot of knitting done, hopefully on my test knit and the shop samples, and working on finishing my sorbet cardigan and just figuring out my plan of action in regards to other knitting that needs to get done / started and all that jazz. So that's very exciting, and I look forward to sharing with you. Oh goodness words. I look forward to sharing that with you next week. So thank you again so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I guess I'll see you guys next week. Bye!